I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I've done a laptop battery harvest. Some of my cells, for example, these LGs that I harvested from I think it's a 2011 Toshiba pack back in 2018, as well as some, those LGs, by the way, those are 2200 milliamp hour cells. And also some 1900 milliamp hour generic knockoffs out of a generic replacement laptop battery, same year, 2018. Those are probably from 2010, but those are getting worn out. The 1900 milliamp hour cells, for example, they're only charging up to like 1300 milliamp hours now. I've noticed my camera hasn't been running quite as long on a charge, the one I'm filming with right now. And also those LG cells, while they're still charging up to about, I think, 1800, 16, 1800 milliamp hours, their internal resistance is getting quite high, as I think like 300 milliohms. So yeah, they're done. So I decided I'm gonna start cracking up some batteries again. Okay, so these this battery here, and I got this one over here, I might do in a separate video. These probably don't have good cells in them, but I figured, what the heck, they're sitting on my shelf. Before I get rid of them, I am curious what's inside of them. These particular Dell laptop batteries, Dell decided to go 100% China on these freaking things, as Dell was good at doing. They love China, but everything from them is made in China, it seems like. Even the cells in these packs are made in China. That was one of the things that kind of sparked my interest, is, okay, what kind of cells did they use in here? Did they use the same cells that you get in a generic replacement pack? Because you think about it, when you go to order a replacement battery from Dell, you're going to be spending a good bit of money, and usually the reason why you'd want to get a genuine pack is because they typically would use quality cells from LG Chem, Panasonic, or Sony, for example, or Samsung. But yeah. So this is it's a minimum. This one here is a minimum 4.2 amp hour pack. So we're gonna say the cells are probably 2100 or 2200 milliamp hours. The battery cell made in China and assembled in China. There's a closer look at the label. Now, chances are there are bad cells in this pack. This is one of the packs that would not charge up. And typically what happens with laptop batteries is, if one bank of cells in the pack go bad, the whole pack won't work anymore. So you can actually still have good cells in there. And I have harvested good cells previously from batteries like that. So these are blue cells, and they have this marking on them. So we know positive is over here and negative is over here. This is a 6 cell pack, 3S 2P. In other words, 3 sets in series, 2 in parallel. Now, one thing I should note, I'm just noting this ahead of time, is I take my time with laptop battery disassembly. Some people, they just tear right into the pack and they get in a big hurry. I don't. I take my time with it. So I will probably be doing some edits to this video to make it less boring to watch. So I'm going to start finding my way in here. Some of these packs are built super well, and it's nearly impossible to get into the things. That's, you know, when they could do something right. The The thing is, you got to be careful when you go to tearing these things, especially in the cases where they're difficult to get into. Is, of course, these cells typically have charge on them. Well, you want them to have some charge on them if you want to actually get good cells. The thing is, you got to be careful that you don't short anything out, because you also tend to have wires in here that run between the parts of the pack. So you gotta use caution with these things. So when you're using a screwdriver here, or any tools for that matter, you don't want to put down a lot of pressure on the cells. And also when you're like in this area, or any like in between the cells, you gotta be careful, because there's contacts in there that you could short out if you're not careful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to pop this plastic. And as you're tearing into a pack like this, kind of keep a watch on the temperature of the cells. If any cell starts getting warm, you're most likely shorting something out. So just be prepared to act if something shorts out. Try to remove the short, of course, but if you can't, head outside immediately, because you don't want one of these packs to catch fire in your house. What I'm trying to do is get some leverage in here where I can start snipping away at this plastic. Okay guys, so after lots of wrestling with this thing, we finally got it manageable. So I'm going to go ahead and snip some wires here, try to isolate this circuit board. This pack is in horrible shape. I'll show you guys here in a moment, once I'm able to get inside safely. The cells up here have vented. Now, when you think of lithium cells, your lithium-ion cells venting, you normally think like venting with flame. However, these things don't always vent with flame. A lot of times they don't. So that's something to keep in mind. The way I know these cells are vented is there's corrosion in here. And it's, again, if I didn't mention, on the frontmost cells up here. They're looking pretty bad. I'm going to snip this right here. Some things I like to mention is when you're tearing into a pack like this, you're generally safe working around the negative side of the pack, but don't be up here with your pliers or what have you peeling up in this section. Or if you do, you got to be really careful that you don't short anything out. So now all I lack is the front, and this is where the corrosion is at. Trying to tell if it was one cell or both of the cells. I think it was just one, actually. So try to peel this tape back a little bit. Actually, it's both of them. These things, they're not looking too good. So I'm sure many of y'all have seen what, for example, a car battery looks like after it's, and of course, you know, the acid has leaked a little bit and it's got corrosion on the terminals and what have you. A car battery, or let's say an alkaline cell, this is pretty similar to that. I'm trying to see if there's any more of these cells are actually like that. I think it's just the fronts. So let me get you a, once I peel these apart a little better, let me get you a better look. So, as you can see the corrosion and the rust on these two cells up front. It's a possibility that one cell could have started venting and leaking, and the other cell, and of course that electrolyte leaking out may have started to corrode the other one. Now I'm going to get my multimeter and we'll check the voltage of the cells. I'm pretty sure the ones up front are probably 0, but we'll have to check and see. Alright, so let's see what we're measuring here for voltage. We'll start out with the bad ones up front. .01, and let's see about the remainder of them. The center ones we're measuring 1.8 volts, and the backs, they are see if I can get anything. Nothing. So either these cells are fully drained, or what else could be going on is the PTC, is a protective device inside the cells, may have popped. But these front cells, oh man, they look bad. These look really bad. So, pretty safe to say this whole pack is junk. This is an example of one that would be just the whole thing be getting recycled. But I knew this was a bad pack, and I figured, hey, it wouldn't hurt to open it and see what's going on. Well, yeah, this would be the worst pack I've ever. This would be the worst pack I've ever got my hands on, to be honest. Try to see if I can tear these two off the front. So I will definitely be taking these to get recycled really soon. Now, another thing I should mention is when you're working with your pliers and stuff, you got to be really careful reaching in here, because you could easily, if there's any nicks in the cell wrapping, like for example that right there is positive, oh excuse me, negative, and you got positive right there, and this here is this piece of metal between the two will be the positive of these cells here. So you gotta be cautious working in here. So we're gonna try to get in here and snip this, so that way I can separate the cells. If push comes to shove, you can try pulling them apart. Just gotta be really careful with it. And it's tearing apart. I definitely want to separate these two. Yeah, that's pretty bad there. So anytime you encounter cells like that, you definitely want to wash your hands after handling them. So I'm gonna probably be taking these to the recycle center really soon. Don't think there's much. I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot to worry about. But yeah, look at that. It's so bad that the cell wrappings have actually cracked. So, and I should mention, I did locate the manufacturer date of this pack. It is 2009, and this pack, from my understanding, hasn't been functional for quite some time now. So this isn't exactly new. But this is pretty bad. That's what you get with made in China cells, Dell. Not saying this won't happen to LG or Samsung or Panasonic or Sony, but yeah, that's bad. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that one. Some corroded, leaky cells. Thanks for watching. Well everybody, that's it for this video, but don't forget there's a lot more interesting stuff on the channel to check out. Also, if this is your first time visiting this channel, feel free to subscribe to keep your channel, and also don't forget to tick the bell so that way we get notified of new video posts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. But if you really didn't like it, there is the alternative option available as well. Also, feel free to check out my second channel, CubeComp MTDX. There you'll find videos about bicycling, weather, elevator tours, and all sorts of other neat, interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to come back, and thank you for your support.